thirst for the absolute. Our human trouble arises from desire. Desire that demands to be satisfied is the problem. It's as if we feel constantly thirsty, and to quench our thirst, we try to attach a hose to a faucet in the wall of life. We demand countless things of ourselves and the world. Almost anything can be seen as desirable, a socket we can attach ourselves to, so that we can finally get the drink we believe we need. We feel we have to fix our life, to quench our thirst. We begin to discover that the promise we hold out to ourselves, that somehow, somewhere, our thirst will be quenched, is never kept. I don't mean that we never enjoy life. Much in life can be greatly enjoyed. Certain relationships, certain work, certain activities. But what we want is something absolute. We want to quench our thirst permanently, so that we have all the water we want, all the time. That promise of complete satisfaction is never kept. It can't be kept. The minute we get something we have desired, we are momentarily satisfied, and then our dissatisfaction rises again. We have to see that everything we demand, and even get, eventually disappoints us. We must notice the promise that we wish to exact or demand and obtain from other people and abandon the dream that they can quench our thirst. We must realize that such an enterprise is hopeless. Perhaps we have a good job, a good relationship or family, yet we're still thirsty, and it dawns on us that nothing really can fulfill our demands. We feel that there is something lacking. Your thirst in your soul is the attraction of God. When the love of God arises in thy heart, without doubt God also feels love for thee. When you return to God or the sea of souls or non-being, individuality is lost, but its essence remains. Without body, there is no desire and no suffering. There is no thought or care for loss or gain. Your spirit is enjoying perfect rest, freed from desire of eating and drinking. The prophet said, Allah said, I have prepared for my righteous slaves such excellent things, as no eye has ever seen, nor an ear has ever heard, nor a human heart can ever think of. Sahih al-Bukhari 7498 in book reference, book 97, Hadith 123. It is God. God is beyond senses and mind. The God-loving heart can see and hear God. If you do not love God, you have a dead stony heart. For the lovers only He becomes the object of joy and sorrow. He alone becomes the object of their reward and remuneration. The prophet's heart did not doubt what he saw. Quran 53-11. This is also the state of deep sleep. The goal is to achieve the state of deep sleep when you are awake. Like a dead person, you desire nothing. For the human mind is now more concerned with material than with spiritual values. It seeks only the satisfaction of its ever-increasing desires, though these are the very cause of our sufferings, and it casts away its own treasure house, which is its paradise of eternal bliss. When we're willing for life to be as it is, we embrace both life and death, pleasure and pain, good and bad, comfortable in being both. We have to relinquish our sense of entitlement, our sense that life owes us this and that. For example, we have to abandon the notion that we can compel others to love us by doing things for them. We have to recognize that we cannot manipulate life to satisfy ourselves, and that finding fault with ourselves or others is not an effective way of helping anyone. We slowly abandon our basic arrogance. The real start of the way, of the true spiritual life, which is nothing else than self-surrender, self-abandonment, actually underwriting whatever happens to one, dying as the separate and illusory ego, I am a somebody, and being reborn as the one and truly egoless ego, I am. God is eternally and uninterruptedly self-existent. When mind is stained by attachment, materiality is there. When it is free from stain, immateriality is there. God wants your heart to be unattached to worldly life. God wants your heart to be attached only to God, the formless or unseen, invisible. You disciples, if your minds are stainless, will thereby be freed from entertaining erroneous thoughts. The stirring of your minds by the notion of self and others will vanish. There will be nothing but purity, stainlessness, on account of which you will become capable of unlimited perception. Sudden illumination means deliverance while still in this life. Reduce your thoughts and worries. Curb your annoyance and anger. Regulate your drinking and eating. Be careful in your conduct. Every hour, every minute, simply make the remembrance of God your meditation topic. Remember God with every breath you take. You have too many concerns that preoccupy your mind too urgently. That's why you develop all these illnesses. Just work continuously the remembrance of God without any breaks, without mixing in any other thoughts. Deep in thought about God is the work for you. False thoughts are powerful, but after a long struggle they will submit. Have no doubts about this. Simply go on reciting the name of God with unified mind and unified intent without a break, pure and unmixed. Mindfulness of God is the medicine. Mindfulness of God is the state of deep sleep at awake state. During deep sleep, electrical activity in the brain appears in long, slow waves called delta waves. Delta waves are the slowest recorded brain waves in human beings. They are found most often in infants and young children, and are associated with the deepest levels of relaxation and restorative, healing sleep. Let go of anxiety, tension and strain. Put your trust in God. Mixed mindfulness is the disease. Mindfulness of God is the medicine. When the remembrance of God is correct, it cures mixed mindfulness. If you cannot cure it, it is because your mindfulness is not keen. When miscellaneous thoughts arise, then use your mind to increase your effort to be mindful of God. When your spirit is unified and undivided on the name of God, miscellaneous thoughts will cease by themselves. Recite the name of God with your whole mind, with your whole strength, without any other thoughts at all. Your mind must have no erroneous thoughts to arise and must be unstained from without by forms and sounds like the state of deep sleep. Take action only for the sake of God. You must not take action which is dictated by impure motives involving love, hatred, and all other pairs of opposites, but not from the actions necessary for responding to the needs of the moment. Keep your minds from dwelling on anything whatsoever. Keep them forever still as the void and utterly pure, without stain, and thereby spontaneously attain deliverance. Set your minds at rest. As long as you are not carried away by external winds, your nature will remain like water forever still and clear. Let God do what He will. Accept His decree. When the decree of God becomes the pleasure of man, then man desires the fulfillment of God's decrees. He lives for the sake of God, not for wealth. He dies for the sake of God, not in fear and grief. His faith is based on his desire to do God's will, not on hope to gain paradise with its groves and founts. His avoidance of infidelity is also for God's sake. It proceeds not from fear of falling into the fire. Thus this temper of his arises from his very nature. Seek not fame and happiness in this lifetime at the cost of unenlightenment and suffering for long eons to come.